Take 33. My name is Jordan, as my name implies. I've had some issues. I've lowered the resolution, the frame rates on this for the sheer sake of data compression. I have a data cap on my ISP. I do not want to burn it. I'm going to try and keep this as quick, sweet, and simple. Okay, you guys like to vote for Trump because you think he's pro your freedoms. I'm sorry to say, he's not. You think Hillary is going to abolish your Second Amendment rights? This is what I have to say about that.
Second Amendment, because Donald Trump continues to say that Hillary Clinton wants to abolish the Second Amendment. That is false. That is false by every fact check, by her, by the campaign, by everyone who's listening, but Donald Trump. Why does he continue to say that?
Because it's true.
That is how he is. Okay, and why is that he like that? This is why. Okay.
It's a tenant of mine in New York. The biggest in the world, a Chinese fan. Don't worry about that baby. I love babies. So I love babies. I hear that baby crying. I like it. What a baby. What a beautiful baby. Don't worry. The mom's running around like, don't worry about it. It's young and beautiful and healthy, and that's what we love. Okay, but look. We have the piggy bank. They have ripped us to shreds. Ripped us absolutely to shreds. Actually, I was only kidding. You can get the baby out of here. That's all right. Don't worry. I think you would believe me that I love having a baby crying while I'm speaking.
That is what he does. Okay. He's like, oh yeah, I love a baby. Such a baby. You know, it's like, I love babies. Babies are great. You know, I love babies. No, wait, no. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't actually like the baby. Get the baby out of here. I think she actually believed me. That is how he is like you. Like, oh, you know, I want to go for your gun rights. I want to go for your amendment rights. Like, oh, yeah, I think they actually believe me. It's like, I'm sorry. You think that he cares? Like he's not bought out by the corporations?
And it's pretty light on specifics, but we can certainly ascertain the gist of it. So on trade, he's actually pretty solid. He chose to outsource them. So every time I bring this up, I often bring up Ron Paul, because Ron Paul, for example, up from your left and calling out all your bull anymore. It's the International Pacific Agreement, and now I'm for it because it's not TPP. So I think they'd both be for it. When tax cuts that blew a hole in the budget, it was 35%. And again, that's pre-deductions, but we don't need to get into that. Trump's is 33%. So the Bush tax cuts that led to gigantic debt and deficits, along with the Iraq War, of course, and the recession. But this partly led to the recession. Bush's rates were higher than Trump's. So he wants to give an even bigger tax cut to the rich. Disaster.
Trump wants to give a bigger tax deduction to the rich. He wants to help the rich.
Well, then he says 25% and 12% are the other two brackets. Whoa. Hold on now. So your lowest bracket is 12%? Do you guys have any idea what that means? That means that under Trump's tax plan, even though he says he's for the average Joe, that would be a net gigantic tax increase on poor people. Because right now, so he wants 3 brackets. Right now there's 7. And we have a progressive system like every other modern nation. Although ours tops out not nearly as high as other modern nations, because they're more social democracies and we're...
He wants to tax the poor. Not only like, oh, you know, maybe it's just a media thing, you know. I am going to put a thing to his website, okay? I have it in here. Right here. There it is, okay? Yeah, basically it's saying he's going to decrease the tax on the poor, okay? Now, you guys like to say that he's not a racist, okay? And he's not a racist. I'm going to pause it here, and then I'm going to highlight the section where he says some very racist things in this policy, okay? Pausing it, so as I can get the... Alright, here I'm going to just jump in and start a little early. I haven't found what I was looking for exactly yet, but here I want to say, you know, if Trump says, you know, people should come into the United States legally through proper channels. But when you say you're going to cancel visas, you're basically saying, yeah, come in through the proper channels that don't exist. Okay, he wants to destroy the proper channels in which people are coming in. Okay, it says, yeah, immigration is a privilege, not a right. That's why they pay money to come over here. in the current system, they pay thousands of money to come, or thousands of dollars to come here, not in pesos, in actual USDs. Okay, my mom is an immigrant from Chile. Okay, my dad spent $5,000, I shit you not, $5,000 to bring her to the United States legally. Okay, the United States immigration system is not a free check to go say, oh, this piece of shit is an immigrant, so let's hate on them. No, okay, no. The immigration laws and policies were designed for 3 basic reasons. One, okay, keeping, too many people who are homeless, coming here, unable to sustain themselves and all that shit. And for 2, okay, people bringing diseases. And for 3, terrorism, okay, keeping the nation safe, which they've been successful in all 3 facets for a very long time. Mind you, it's not perfect. There are still human elements and things slip through. This is a system much like a car engine. Okay, you can't say, oh, I'm going to make the car better and perfect. It's going to be running on 200 miles per gallon or something. No, it's not how it works. It's a thing called reality. Okay, so we're looking at this, and he says, oh, it's a privilege, not a right. They get that already. Trump doesn't understand that. I expect you to understand that by looking at it. I'm not saying do it because the liberals are saying it. I'm not saying believe these people for what the liberals are telling you or what the media is telling you. I'm telling you to look at it at all. Okay? Let's see, a small increase in visa fees, which he already said he would remove because canceling all visas. Okay? Not to mention that canceling visas would make legal immigrants illegal, would turn them into illegals, okay? So they are legal, but Trump wants to make them illegal immigrants. So, again, the racism thing. Okay, let's see here. Mexico's taken us for, in other ways, guns, drug traffickers, cartels, yada yada yada. Let's see here, where is it? Oh, look at that, he removed, he altered his thing. Interesting. Alright, let's see here. Where is it? Welfare. Oh, here we go. Okay. On day 2, Mexico will protest. They will receive approximately $24 billion in remittances from Mexico nationals working in the United States, the majority of illegal immigrants. It serves as a de facto warfare for poor families in Mexico. That is so racist. He's basically saying every Hispanic, Mexican, and so forth is a de facto soldier who comes to the United States with the pure sake of draining our economy. Which that's absolutely racist. I'm sorry. The Mexican state is actually, I'm asking you people not to just take my word on it, but actually do some research in it. I know, if you guys don't want to believe in the liberals, you think the liberals are bad, that the liberals are trying to take over this nation. Well, I have to say this to you, okay? Either the liberals or Trump, but you're still taking people on their word. You're still not doing the research. You're still following what somebody tells you. Either Trump or the liberals. You're still doing the same damn thing. It's the same fucking equation. I'm sorry, but you're just kissing Trump's ass. Okay? Alright, so let's see. Not to mention, this whole 3-day, I'm gonna break the Mexican government paying for a wall kind of thing. I mean, you guys are always talking about how, the establishment are a bunch of elitists, here to control you people. And, they're all corrupt, bought out by some corporation. And, I have to say to this, okay? I have to say this to you. You're going for a guy who failed as a corporate man and you're saying that you don't like the government because of corporates buying out politicians with, paying for like donations and things. You're worried about people donating and so on and so forth. Corporations having control over politicians and so on and forth. You're talking about a corporate. You're voting for a corporate who claimed, and I'm going to pause it here, I'm going to actually say this. I'm going to show you this, okay? Actually, I'm going to try and keep this as short as humanly possible because it's data size, data cap, you know, that kind of thing. So, here we have the news, or a joke of a news, Fox, okay, saying Barack Obama administration paid $4 million. They were going off of what Trump said, okay, which is a total lie, okay. He says that Trump says that he saw a video that was from the Iranian government laughing at us about how we were unloading millions of dollars from a plane. He showed you guys that, okay? And again, I have to go back to, you know, the baby thing where he says, you know, like, oh yeah, I think she believed me. You know, like, I'm totally lying, but I think she actually believed me. Okay, when people called him out on this, and news organizations all over the spectrum, with the exception of Fox, from what I can see, you know, calling him out on this, they say, and then Trump comes out and says, the plane I saw on TV was the hostages in Geneva, Switzerland, not the plane carrying $400 million in cash to Iran. What it really was the plane it was a plane in Geneva, and it was the Iranian hostages, our POWs, being loaded into a plane and dropped off, you know, and so far we were getting hostages back, which is a good thing. It's a good thing, okay? But Trump lied to you, and he's like,
That's okay. People don't understand. That's okay. Baby crying while I'm speaking. That's okay. People don't understand. That's okay.
damn it, bad timing.
Having a baby crying while I'm speaking. That's okay. People don't understand. Believe me that I love having a baby crying while I'm speaking. That's okay. People don't understand.
Bad timing. Anyways, basically, he says, I think I want to do that.
They have ripped us to shreds. Ripped us absolutely to shreds. Actually, I was only kidding. You can get the baby out of here. That's all right. Don't worry. I think you would believe me that I love having a baby.
No, I think she actually believed me that I like having a baby crying. That is what he says. Okay. That I think you guys actually believe me. Okay. Now I'm gonna finish off. Wow, this is a smaller file size than I thought. I'm actually be able to do more. Then he says, you know, that Hillary's bought out by corporations. That Hillary gets more corporate funding and all that stuff, etc., etc., etc. You ever wonder why he keeps talking about the Second Amendment, even though it's been a proven fact?
False. That is false by every fact check, by her, by the campaign, by everyone who's listening, but Donald Trump. Why does he continue to say that?
Because it's true.
Donald Trump has been bought up by the NRA. You guys are worried about, you know, some other person being corrupt and all that shit. Trump isn't even in office and he's already being bought out by some corporate. I'm sorry, people? Okay, sorry. You were lied to. And as Trump once said...
Don't worry. I think you would believe me that I love having a baby crying while I'm speaking.
I think she might have believed me. Well, the thing is, I got some extra, like, I don't know, 30 megabytes left of hard space on this file. I am going to iterate on the establishment issue. Okay? I know you guys say, you know, like, Hillary's pro-establishment, all that shit. That she's boring and all that shit, yada 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 yada. You know, I like listening to Trump, I do. He's like a reality TV that you just can't look away from. I, however, do not look at him as a good person. I like to see him fail. Okay? I'm sorry. I like to watch him stumble. I like to watch him, you know, screw up. It's funny. But when it comes to the establishment, I want to define the establishment in two contexts, okay? Just two. Your computer and your car, okay? Your car has many different establishments tied to it. You know, you go to the shop, that's an establishment. They have a system of policies built to keep their people in check, educated, and paid. Okay, you mostly pay for their labor, okay? But you have to pay for your resources. Trump doesn't think that you should pay for your resources. He thinks that, oh, you know, you should be able to live anywhere free. That's, I'm sorry, we we live in a capitalist world where the exchange of value is based with some sort of currency. You know, and I know some people don't like the whole currency issue because it makes things expensive. Mind you, this computer cost me 10 grand, okay? I'm not exactly fond of the idea of an expensive item having to be used, but it is a fair exchange. It is the best thing we have to a fair exchange. And Trump's like, oh, you know, all these people are rigging the system against me. And that is actually something I should recap on. That is something I should recap on. Trump wants to rig the election. Rig the election. How do we know that? Because he's whining about it. He's like, oh, just hand it to me. If I don't get it, it's rigged. You know, it's the only way I could ever lose is because it's rigged. You know, I'm so perfect, I'm not incapable. Like, fuck the election system, fuck the voters, fuck the free will, fuck America. You know, screw America. Trump over America. I know that he talks about unifying the system. He's not talking about unifying the system. He's talking about everybody, you know, being behind him. He wants to be a fucking dictator. It's like, oh, you know what? People don't like me. They, you know, like, get out of the room. How many times have you been against the First Amendment? Exactly. I mean, you guys talk about, you know, how Hillary's against the Second Amendment. I say he's against the First Amendment. Okay. Every time somebody says something he doesn't like, he sues them. Okay. He sued the Onion over a satire thing. Okay. And then he sued a comedian over a joke about his hair. Okay, he sues people a lot because of comments he doesn't like. He revokes media's access when they cover things that he says in a way he doesn't like. He says, oh, you know, you must be a Hillary supporter, like that's any kind of argument. It's not. Because if I were to say, like, oh, you know, you're a Trump supporter, fuck what you say, no. That's not an argument. That's not a defense. That doesn't mean that what they're saying is wrong. Okay? That doesn't mean that they're in the bad. It doesn't mean shit. It just means they prefer this person or the other person. It's like, you know what I prefer Hillary? I prefer Hillary because she has a great resume. I prefer the Clintons because they gave us a surplus. I prefer Hillary because she actually, you know, spends more time managing her own system in a balanced and working on the election on her own two legs, not taking handouts. Because if you look at the polls, you look at the data, and I'm asking you, please stop kissing Trump's ass like a fucking mule. Okay? Look at it. Okay, you want somebody to be a leader of the free will, of the free world. Prove you're free. Okay? Think for yourself. You know, this, and I get you guys, you know, you think like, oh, you know, it's the media coverage and all that shit. Does that mean they're wrong? No, granted, you know, some medias are less respectful than others. I mean, you got this thing right here. Okay, this is I'm going over my data limit, but I just don't be like the politicians you hate and sell out to a corporate. Okay? Now, when it comes to gun control and all that stuff, okay, Hillary's not trying to get rid of your guns. I noted that in the beginning, okay?
to say that Hillary Clinton wants to abolish the Second Amendment. That is false. That is false by every fact check, by her, by the campaign, by everyone who's listening but Donald Trump. Why does he continue to say that?
Because it's true.
You guys want to defend Trump. It's to the point where we have to say you're more interested in defending the party than you are America. Like, oh, we need to get a Republican in office. Fuck America. Fuck America. You know, you are going to say if you're not patriot, then you're not voting for Trump. But we're really not patriot, and we're voting for Trump because we want our party to win, and we don't give a shit about America. People say, like, oh, you know, worried about some politicians selling out to a corporate. Paul Ryan has sold out to a corporate. Trump is that corporate. Granted, he's not a rich corporate. He's a failure of a corporate. You know, and that's another thing. You know, it's like you talk like he cares about the rich. Or like he talks about he cares. You say he cares about the poor. He wants to raise taxes on the poor. And I posted a video of that earlier. And lower taxes on the rich. Okay. You say he cares about your rights. That he's a law-abiding citizen. The guy wants to break every law out there. Please. Be American. Be free. Respect. Make the election system respectable. Now, saying I'm saying this again and again and again. If you say the election is rigged just because you're getting bad poll numbers, it means you want to rig it. You know, you don't think that maybe what he's saying and doing might be a little bit mental. Might be the reason. I mean, I've listened to these people, a lot of people. And I've heard people say that Hillary was the devil. Okay. Now, I'm going to quote a little thing from the Bible. Okay. It says that Lucifer is the master of lies. All talk, no walk. And what we have here is a master of lies. Well, he's not really a master of lies. He's just lying and saying, you know, he's just casting his fishing rod out there and saying which people bite. Okay. I mean, I don't really get, you know, like, I'm asking you guys, you know, look at the university. Look at his history. Okay, you're worried about people being fraud in the government. You're worried about having a racist. You want a fair, legal, concise system that cares about you. But you can't even vote for a guy who cares about you. You're voting for a guy that says, "Oh, they don't like me. They're stacking things against me and all that shit," just because he can't take the fallback on what he said. Okay. When it comes to when it comes to gun control, okay, I'm gonna end up wrapping this up with a little bit on gun control, okay. If you don't believe in gun control, buy your daughter a gun when she's 5. Would you do it? No, if you have like 5 cents of rationality, you won't do it. That's called gun control. I know I was talking about these people, you know, some guy who says like, "Oh, you know, I don't think that Trump is against free speech and all that shit." Well, I know they say that Trump isn't anti First Amendment, that he's not racist and all that shit. Well, I have to say this, okay? Our Constitution clearly says that we shall not make any law prohibiting or encouraging or concerning religion. And in doing so, by saying I want to ban all Muslims, Muslims is a religion, therefore it is a, quote, trial of religion. Some people say that it's not because foreigners have no rights, but you cannot enforce a law outside our borders. Okay, you cannot enforce outside our jurisdiction. You can negotiate with other nations, but you cannot enforce it. In order to enforce it, you have to be able to do it here. Okay, so you cannot make a law here against Muslims and saying you cannot come into this if you're a Muslim, because Muslims is a religion. Okay, they also constitute as a race because it's, hate crimes are associated to that. But it qualifies. I mean, I guess some overly PC, anti-PC people, hypocrites basically, are saying like, oh, the literal term does not qualify them as a race. I'm sorry. A lot of people think Hispanics aren't a race because Hispanics happen to also be Mexicans, and they think that if they list them as Mexicans, it's not racism. But as you've seen when it comes to Trump's attack against the judge, it is extremely racist in his way because he cannot tell the difference. And I am running out of time. So, again, amendments, all that stuff, free speech, and Trump will take away your freedoms. He will. He's proven his responses whenever anybody says something against him. And there goes my data cap. So I will bid you all adieu and list and do not subscribe. This is just a response video, or you can post stuff. I don't really care. And I'll probably end up responding to it or making a video later on, depending. But, yeah. Yeah. Enjoy.